crumbling urban savannah of the dark side, a peculiar creature returns. Behold, the smoking sheriff. A lone male of the BKB fanboy species, this fascinating specimen roams fight events and car parks in equal measure. Today we find him nesting in his natural habitat, a Greg's car park, snorting ego and puffing delusion. Here, he attempts to insert himself into a territorial dispute over a missing block of Pepsi and $5 in shiny human tokens. With wild eyes and trembling hands, he proclaims himself the peacekeeper of predators, though none have asked him to. A bizarre and hilarious display of dominance and desperation.
Good afternoon, everyone. Bosh. Yes, it's the sheriff. Oh, quick video. The Simon Kirk, carry on. To be honest, I was taken aback because I do like Simon. I think he's a nice lad. I've spent quite a bit of time with him, and yeah, it's come out the blue to me.
What we witness in this first clip is, frankly, a neurological event. The smoking sheriff is on screen, rocking back and forth like a malfunctioning metronome, licking his lips so furiously it's as if his nervous system has declared martial law. Involuntary noises emerge, strange guttural bursts, as his eyes dart around like a feral cat in a crack den. It's not charisma, it's chaos. Now, at the time of this recording, we don't yet know the full extent of his condition. But in a subsequent video, he casually mentions that he just dropped off his daughter, implying that at some point he got behind the wheel in this state. Now, this isn't just reckless. It's driving under the influence in its most delusional form. Forget field sobriety. This man would fail a basic mirror test. He then pivots and begins laying the groundwork for his self-appointed role as mediator. While clearly high, he offers Simon Kirk, an alleged coke thief, a glowing character reference. Claims they've spent loads of time together at BKB events. Translation, he stood near him at weigh-ins while whispering, "Big fan," through a cloud of vape. Let's move on. It only spirals further.
I think he must have been desperate to do anything like that. I do, because, again, I can't get my head around it, mate. Where do you go from here? I think hiding away, mate, is just going to make things worse. What you've done's wrong. I think you need to come out, admit that. If you still do have that watch, make sure it gets back to whoever's it is. If you're not comfortable doing that, listen, pass it on to me and I'll make sure it gets back to where it needs to go.
Now in the next segment, we begin to truly grasp the depth of the sheriff's cluelessness. Whether it's long-term drug use, untreated delusion, or just pure idiocy, one thing is clear: he doesn't get it. He references a watch, completely unaware that in certain circles, a watch isn't a timepiece. It's code, and not the innocent kind. Yet here he is volunteering to mediate a criminal dispute, seemingly oblivious to the consequences. In his mind, he's respected, connected, in the know. In reality, he's an awkward fanboy, drifting into a world that could eat him alive. Not respected, not trusted, just tolerated at best. This is the pathology of delusion. The more out of touch you are, the more convinced you become of your value. And the sheriff, he's convinced and completely, dangerously lost.
I get that, but if you still have got it, like you say, pass it on to me or pass it on to somebody who can make sure it gets back to where it should be, mate. Money, start to come to some sort of arrangement if you've spent it, and sort of pay it back as and when you can. Not ideal, but if that's all you can do. But you need to make amends for it, mate. You can't just run. You can't run wherever. Do you know what I mean? You've got kids in that there, mate. So don't do anything stupid. Because the thing is, people don't forget, but people can forgive if you make the effort.
The sheriff continues, doubling down on his delusional peacekeeping role. He starts talking logistics, says Simon should hand the goods back, as if this is a library dispute. Then comes the real gem. He mentions the money and suggests that if it's already been spent, they can just come to some kind of arrangement, as if he's mediating a spat over faulty slippers at the Marks and Spencer refund desk, except he's not. He's talking about hardened criminals, not menopausal shift managers named Linda. He even reassures Simon with breathtaking stupidity that he can just pay it back when he can, no rush, no pressure, just a friendly IOU for $5,000 and a block of mystery Pepsi, the kind of thinking only a man who films himself high in a Greg's car park could possibly endorse. Then, just when you think he couldn't sink any lower, the sheriff invokes his children. Yes, the same man driving his daughter around in a state that would fail a breath test from across the street, now dishing out moral judgments. And as the grand finale, he assures Simon that these men, the ones who've been robbed, are willing to forgive. Sure they are, just after their next aromatherapy session and a group hug.
I know you're a decent guy, so I would hope to think that you've been desperate, in my eyes, to have to stoop that low. Don't know what's going on, or whatever, but me personally, I think something's not been right for you to do what have done what you've done. If you've got the stuff, i.e. the watches and stuff, again mate, get in touch with me. You don't have to get in touch with me, and I'll make sure it gets back to the appropriate person. I think someone said it was ruins, but again, there's plenty of people kicking about who we can get it back to whoever it is. Do you know what I mean? And
then he does the cardinal sin. The sheriff starts dropping names, real ones, men who are, by all accounts, still active and would very much prefer their business not be broadcast on a YouTube channel filmed from the front seat of a nicotine-stained Peugeot. In what world is this acceptable? Certainly not in this world, and definitely not in the world he's pretending to understand. The sheriff even admits out loud that he doesn't fully grasp the situation. So why, then, would you insert yourself as a middleman in a landscape governed by paranoia, silence, and consequence? The answer is simple: attention. This video isn't about justice, peacekeeping, or loyalty. It's about relevance. He name drops moody, dangerous individuals, not out of bravery, but to impress a YouTube audience of 47 guys called Kev. This isn't a peace mission. It's performance delusion, a clout-chasing fantasy wrapped in the fumes of ego and whatever he smoked behind the Greg's bins. The sheriff is playing a very silly game, and like most silly men, he has no idea what happens when the game stops being funny. But that's a lesson for another day.